I want to direct our attention to an examination, be a free moral agent, a volitional creature under the sovereignty of God. The humanist view of free will, no prejudice, no prior disposition or prior inclination.
A coherent agenda orchestrated from a diabolical center, moving and reproducing ineluctably like algae in a lake. Isn't that most interesting?
But in addition to external forces that are determining factors, and I'll take it even to the superlative degree and say we must choose always according to the strongest inclination at the moment. And that is the essence.
So-called esoteric knowledge is coming out onto the surface. Esoteric or even cult, the sacred canopy.
Hierarchical deconstructionism, the insertion of intersectionality, postmodernism.
Intersectionality, academia, sensitivity training.
Dualism on a monistic background.
Implication, not so subtle implication, the sufficiency of Scripture.
The Jewish Kabbalah, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Eschatological Sodom, as poppycock. The paranormal, occultic, shamanistic character of Jungian psychology. The perennial philosophy. Subterranean stream, that's perennial or Gnostic philosophy. Father of the totality. You see, that is the seduction of Gnosticism. The Isaac-worshipping mystery cult, perennial philosophy.
A rigid determinism, there's no real intentionality. Spontaneous choice, in other words, is a rational impossibility.
That is total scam. That is a spin zone. Personal mystical enlightenment. Demise of secularism, of Eastern mysticism and Western technology. The essence, head of a cohort of Western intellectuals. Programmatic statement, mythical evolution, a philosophical sophistication, eschatology, transpersonal neo-Jungian psychology to shamanism, a geopolitical program, a new educational philosophy, a new legal theory. It behoves us integral spirituality, or progressive spirituality, new meta-narrative, global consciousness and collective humanity, transcending and including, that second-tier consciousness, integrative, followed by the universal holistic, and ultimately the integral holonic.
Edwards gives us sort of an iron rule that I call Edwards' law of free will. Every choice that we make is free, and every choice that we make is determined.
Very romantic view of continuity. It was illusory, autodidacts, a wealth of wisdom. Viscerally, the danger of acid modernity, treasure house of a legacy.
Interfaith paradigm shift, nurturing the prophetic imagination. Theosophical roots, provocative, controversial, activist, radical, pagan, Gnostic apostasy. The radical Rian Eisler, the Lucis Trust, keyed to synthesis, the perennial philosophy of Gnosticism. This ascending ladder is a scam. The hermeticism of cosmic proportions.
Intrinsic glory of God, and there is ascribed glory.
Efficacious will and his permissive will, so that the will is not something that acts independent from the mind.
It was propositional glory. It was the sum and the substance of all the divine perfections. Sovereignty, high view of God, eschatological, false eschatology.
Standpoint epistemology.
Ethnic Gnosticism. Yeah, basically, that's what I call ethnic Gnosticism.
God's sovereignty and his providence. Very naturalistic idea. It's
Seeker sensitivity, pragmatism, woker than thou.
Postmodern intersectional equivalent.
But what he lacks is the inclination or disposition toward
irresistible sovereignty,
godliness. But even that fallenness does not eliminate the faculty.
And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of God. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Jesus Christ and him crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God.